demonstrated to you that we're a well-run organization. Now we need additional funding to meet that kind of gap. So you can start to look at demonstrating the value of what you're doing. And then finally, engaging. And I apologize for sort of speaking so quickly, but I want to kind of get through this. This is one that one of the people in our healthcare team in Singapore put together. And once again, when you're communicating about issues, it's not just about communicating the issue, it's communicating it in a way that someone will take action. People that are working for environmental nonprofits have this problem all the time. Everybody loves trees, everybody loves forests, everybody loves animals, the sea, all that kind of stuff. How do you get people to take action, to change the way they live their life? Well, you can do that by linking it to the way that they actually live, in this case, literally. So you can make choices and see what impact making some of these things, eating more fish, eating more oats, eating more almonds. I really don't understand why eating oats and almonds actually makes a difference, but apparently it does on your stroke risk and cardiovascular risk, but draw people into that. And as an example of that, so you can actually sort of, I'm going to skip over this one, people can talk to me about it later. This is an example of a hydro bill. Very, very typical. That doesn't do anything for you in terms of helping you understand what your energy consumption, what your usage are. Typical kind of things, patterns go up and down, you've got your costs, all those kind of pieces. How do you make a link so that I'm going to consume less energy and do something with that? Well, what you can do is look at building in some interactivity. In this case, what we've done is put in a little flash widget that I can move the slider to say if I change 5 of my light bulbs to CFL bulbs, I'm going to save $25. And that's actually based on my power consumption. It's not a generic BC Hydro ad, it's actually my power consumption from my bill. But the problem that BC Hydro has is that $25, is anyone going to care? Like if I reduce my power consumption, like that's not a very big savings, power is so cheap here. So what you can do if you drill in a little bit is say, well, what happens over the life of the bulb? That's saving $385 over the life of these bulbs. So I start to see more of a personal impact. Or what if I want to see what the overall impact of those? So now I've got, okay, 380 pounds of CO2 not emitted. That's really not a very big deal. 380 pounds is not really that big a deal. I'm not taking any cars off the road. But what if I have some more interactivity to say what happens if 1,000 people do that? 1,091 households do exactly what I did, which is not a huge number of households. Well, then I can see that actually translates to taking 36 cars off the road, the equivalent of 51 acres of forest. So you start to move people from purely communicating information to demonstrating the impact of what they can do to making that personal link so they can take personal action and see the impact of those pieces. It's always a very difficult thing, whether you're fundraising or political action or any kind of action, to get people to make that personal link. So for me, it's really about going through those steps, communicating what you're doing, demonstrating the value and the impact of what you're doing, why are you the best in the world at doing this, and also using that information to engage your stakeholders. So if you want more information about this stuff, there's a couple of links I want to point you at. How many people know about TechSoup? Okay, so all of you should know about TechSoup. TechSoup are an amazing organization down in San Francisco. They're sort of like a non-profit software clearinghouse. They handle our software donations for us, so we donate all the software that you saw there to about 900 nonprofits a year. And you go to TechSoup, you can get software from us, from Adobe, from Microsoft, from all kinds of places. The same organization actually started this whole concept around Net Tuesdays and runs the Net Square conference. They run mashup challenges, all kinds of really cool stuff. If you want to know more about what Business Objects actually does, we build the crystal reports and all that data analysis software. You can go to those links. If you want to know more about me, you can email me there. That's my blog at constructive.net where I sort of posted examples. So some of those are more working examples if you're looking at doing things like community economic development. How do you analyze the effectiveness of different community economic development mechanisms? How do you measure multiplier effect, revenue leakage out of a community? Building some of those models, you can do pretty easily as well. So I'm not sure how I'm doing on time, but I spoke as fast as I possibly could.
That was good. It was 10 minutes on the dot.
Okay.